Paramedics work with countless combinations of tools needed for each new call that comes in, and it's up to each medic to know all their tools, how to use them, and when to use them when lives are on the line. This is Tools of the Trade, and these are the medics of Austin-Travis County EMS.
As paramedics, our mission is to bring the tools of the emergency room to the patient. And the number one tool that every medic carries into a call is their frontline response package, which consists of 3 different components. The most important being the primary bag.
So we've got a lot of things here in this bag.
I wouldn't know where to start. Timing is crucial, right? So like if you do sense, all right, they're choking, how much time do you have to pick the right tools?
How much time can you hold your breath? So that's what it is. If you have an obstruction in your airway, we visualize it first with this thing here. This is called a laryngoscope blade. So this is a straight blade called a Miller. It connects with the contact point there and turns on a light right here so we can actually see into the throat of the patient that we're trying to clear the airway. So I insert the laryngoscope blade like this, and hopefully I can remove the airway obstruction with these. If we're able to clear the obstruction, but the patient's not breathing, we can breathe for them by inserting an endotracheal tube. By inserting this tube down the airway and inflating the balloon at the end to seal it, now we can deliver oxygen. A more high-tech version of the laryngoscope is the King Vision, which has a camera on the end of it so you can get a clear visual of the airway.
Just put this tube right through those cords, and I can see that that's where we need to be. And I'll take everything out and inflate my tube here.
Now he's breathing.
Now I can assist his ventilations, yes.
If we can't get you breathing immediately, we have to go to more invasive techniques. Brain tissue starts dying after 3 minutes with no oxygen. So we go to the cricothyroid.
Which means?
We're gonna have to cut your throat, sorry. We're gonna use our scalpel here, and we're gonna cut the skin so that we can locate the membrane. You're gonna literally stick a finger in so that you can hold your spot that you've cut open.
Now we can attach that oxygen delivery device, the bag, and actually breathe for him. To secure that so she doesn't have to hold it, we would put this thing called a tube tamer on there.
Dude, you guys are like real-life MacGyvers, you know what I'm saying? So let's say I'm a diabetic, or I went into cardiac arrest, or I just need an IV and some fluids, stat.
That's when we go for the IV kit, which allows us to deliver fluids and medicine directly into the bloodstream. The intravenous kit consists of various size needles, tubing, and securing devices for fluid delivery. So in the event, like cardiac arrest, when we need to get an IV established immediately, we have something called an IO, which is a drill. This allows us to access the bloodstream by drilling directly into the bone marrow when the heart's not pumping. And so we drill in to your leg right here.
To the bone?
Correct. On 3, 2, and then it seats. Take out the drill, we back it out, then we take the sterile cap off of the IV and plug in the pigtail, and then attach our IV line. Of course, we carry a huge range of medications, all the way from the simple oral ones to life-saving intravenous medicines. In the heat of the moment, we have to know exactly what medication to reach for and the proper amount for the patient. Anytime we get a heart-related call, we reach for the monitor. It performs everything from taking your blood pressure to determining if you're having a heart attack and what part of the heart is affected. If your heart's beating irregularly, the defibrillator can deliver exactly the right amount of electricity to get it back to normal. So all of that's basically our frontline response package. You have to carry the primary bag, the med bag, the heart monitor, and the suction device. But in situations where we have to go into the wilderness, water, or any other unstable environment, we need a much lighter pack. Would you rather carry all of that or this?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's a rescue primary pack, and it basically has everything in these 2 bags condensed into this so we can take one bag into that environment. Even the heart monitor is shrunken down into a tighter automated package.
So with all these rescue bags, there's no environment that you don't feel equipped.
We pretty much got it all covered.
I mean, anywhere, boat, mountain,
absolutely.
McDonald's play place, you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there are 2 types of environments people can get themselves in. Obviously the land stuff, the dry stuff, and that's when we have all of our harnesses, various ropes, rigging to secure the patient into however we're gonna get them out of that environment. And then of course wet stuff that happens in water. So we have clean water that we can get into with a wetsuit for thermal protection. This is called a dry suit. So in the event of something like a flooding, we don't want to get in that water because there's a potential for like contaminants, sewage, whatnot.
I think we can say it, poop water.
So this is a completely sealed suit. It's got gaskets on the wrists and the neck, so it keeps all of that nasty water out as we go into it. Once the patient is stabilized, we need to get them to the ambulance and transport it to the ER. This is called a Stokes basket. So in the rescue environment, we would package them in this, get them to the top of the cliff, and transport them in this.
We would use this for someone with like a hip fracture that you don't want to roll on that broken side. You can scoop them up in that and carry them to the stretcher.
This is called a water litter. This floats in the water at a 45-degree angle, so it keeps their head out of water, their feet dependent, so it's easier to secure them in the water. This is called a sked. It's basically a rigid piece of plastic. So we put them in this, drag them to a point where we can actually put them in a more definitive packaging device.
Instead of carrying someone downstairs, which could be dangerous, this is an extrication device to take them in a controlled fashion down the stairs.
Well, it's sure been a fun day. Boy, have I learned a lot. From gurneys to tracheotomies to catheters to RPPs to the Care Bear chair stair. I've really picked up a lot of new information. You know, paramedics field hundreds of calls a day, and they have so many amazing tools at their disposal. But let's be honest, they couldn't get the job done without the most important tool, their minds.
We got it from here, buddy.
Okay, have fun, guys.
Thanks.